Hey, hello.
Hello.
Mm, just a little- Hi, hi everyone. Um, Town Bob has the right has the right attitude to what's happening today. It's Crypto Day. It's isn't it Martin Luther King Day or something like that? Like a holiday as well. And obviously, some crazy stuff has been going on the weekend.
I
Um,
got liquidated on Sunday.
you got liquidated.
Yeah, I mean, I did some terrible decisions on Sunday, but not
Were
so
you
harmful.
long without 100x leverage on Trump coin? Your official coin.
Not real. There was there was this coin of the TikTok that it pumped all over the place, and then the guy rocked, and yeah, it was a bad day just because of that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got liquidated on
Isn't
that.
TikTok switched off in the US now?
Yes, it switched off and on again within one day.
And then what?
And
On
then
you mean
someone,
Trump
a
will fix
former
that?
advisor from Trump, created a token, and the token went almost to 100 million market cap, and he had 50% of the supply. I'm not sure what happened, but he racked everyone
Crazy.
with the 50% of the supply. Yeah, it was crazy.
Um,
Who's this 40-year-old man? That's right. Is it me?
how's the beard, Kevin?
It's doing great. Can you see?
Mm,
I'll have to shave it anytime. I cannot
no,
hold it anymore.
that's not how it works. Um, but what's your opinion on the Trump coin? I mean, obviously you, Santiago, but also the chat. Like, who's in on this? Who is excited about Trump and Melania having meme coins now, and what does that mean for crypto? What does it mean for the Solana ecosystem? Because obviously Solana, with this going from basically zero to where are we now? The fully diluted valuation of what 50 billion or whatever. There's a lot of demand for Solana for Sol, right? Um, so that pumped. So what you're saying?
So I agree with what I have seen X a lot. I agree with one of the comments that I saw that now Trump has an urgency to regulate this kind of stuff. But regulate doesn't mean it is bad, but actually to make it to have some clear guidelines on how you can proceed and make sure that you're not against the law. Now that he has a meme coin, then he has an urgency to clarify all this. That's my take. I think overall it is good in the long term. I don't like the idea of the president to have his own meme coin, but the concept of someone important having it that could actually influence in how the laws are created and regulated, then of course it is bullish. And it also gives you more like an idea that this Bitcoin reserve will happen. And I don't only think it will be a Bitcoin reserve, but as they have been talking, it will be an XRP reserve, a Chainlink reserve, a SUI reserve. It is supposed that it will be a US based tokens reserve.
Including the official Trump.
Do you imagine if he does that? Oh my god.
I mean, it's a top 15 coin. Why wouldn't it? Right?
I mean, it is only a top 15 point, a top 15 coin because 20% of the supply is out.
Imagine 100% of the supply was out, then it's 5 times the market cap.
I mean, that's true because I mean, talking about it and realizing that right now the holders of it are only people that know how to use Jupiter and Phantom and so on and so on. What if he talks about it? I mean, there's a difference between a social media post and he talking about it in any chain, in any television. There's a huge difference.
Oh yeah, it's this is the craziest thing that happened to crypto in a long time. Especially on the bullish side, right? Um, uh, if Nayib Bukele had launched a meme coin, I would have understood that, right? I would have like everybody would have said, okay, yeah, whatever, right? But with Trump, and then 3 days before getting inaugurated. It's craziness. But I mean,
It's. I mean,
it is what
my,
it is,
my
right? Now
advice.
that's the world now. We we have a president who runs a meme coin and got incredibly rich through that, probably, like on top of everything
Yeah.
else.
I mean, my advice, if you want some exposure, then just buy a little bit. Still things that you can afford to lose. If you want to hold it, if you're more into the tech side, then you can set some Meteora pools and benefit from the trading fees.
I know you're big on Meteora.
I love it.
I'm still a Radium guy. I've been on Radium since the last bull run, and
I have
I
been
can't get
sharing
used
one
to Meteor.
position I created for Trump, so not bad actually. You get 50% of your total liquidity within one day if you do the range right.
If, but then again, the there was a lot of volatility on
Yeah.
the Trump coin.
But did you see that the range that I sent you didn't fall off even with all the dumps and everything?
Really?
It didn't fall off.
Wow, that's crazy. No, I didn't. I didn't follow this enough. And also, I mean, Solana is such a bad technology that it's really hard to even swap into Trump, right? Because of the per contract rate limitations and so on. It's really difficult.
Meteora like Linkin Park.
Yeah, I mean, who knows whether like what that was named after? I mean, there's this tool, this DeFi platform on Solana called Camino, right? So I always have to think of Sawas when I look at that.
I want to
Um,
highlight Define the Dollar that he said if you do a good scrub that will come off. Maybe. I don't know. I think so.
I find this interesting by Prince Paradox. Um, so you want to do that if Doge goes to $1. Okay, if I would say if Play goes to $1, then I'll do it myself. um, but I hold pretty much no Doge. I used to, but yeah. 200K new Solana wallets, unprecedented. Yeah, of
That's a
course.
lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
that's why also Phantom raised 150 million. They are the best app at the moment to interact with the EVM, with Solana, maybe with Sui, Polygon. I mean, they're great.
why are we big into CDs? CDs like as in compact discs.
He just got liquidated. I mean, I haven't been liquidated on my positions on Meteora. I have been liquidated. I have been rocked by a token. That's different. My positions are clean.
That would be great, right? So we can like it's the easy thing to just become chancellor of Germany or president or whatever, and just pump your own token.
So when play strategic reserve.
So this is a valid concern by Kevin Kev. Why are sharing your crypto insider stuff? I mean, it's not insider, right? But with me, not with the community.
Actually,
Maybe we need a copy trader account
I
of you.
posted the same position I sent to you on Twitter.
Kevin Kev.
Yeah,
Look at that.
so you can see.
Just follow Zoller on Twitter.
Actually, if you want some good alpha, I'll tell you. You just go to Meteora Discord. You have to apply to one of their bootcamps and get the private army role. If you get that role, you will be eligible for airdrops. Some of them, the meme token, the LGTB token, and the last one was Code AI, only for completing the bootcamp on how to create liquidity pools. So you should do it because you're learning and you will also be rewarded.
That sounds easy enough.
Actually, the requirement to pass the course is to create a Meteora deal pool and to have a 5% profit in a pool. It's very easy. So easy.
Your village people. Shang Wushu Is that this TikTok alternative? Yeah, so I guess the TikTok will be up in no time. So
What is Shangoshu?
I don't know, but
Red Note is the one of is the Chinese social media. I know about that.
I know nothing.
I look in my crystal ball and 200k normies buy memes with credit card, get red, call cryptos come for the rest of their lives. Yeah, it will happen. I wouldn't tell you that it won't happen. It will happen.
How much does it cost to have me run? I don't know how much that costs, but I mean, creating a party, just like Sarah Wagenknecht. Like she used to be with the left wing party, right? And then she created her own called Bündnis Sarah Wagenknecht. And I mean, it shouldn't be too hard, just a few millions. Define the dollar. This is an interesting take. I look into my crystal ball and 200k normies buy memes with a credit card, get wrecked, call crypto scam for the rest of their lives. And
It will happen. I am
this
sure.
This is what it is. Do you want to do that and be on Discord,
really. No,
sharing your
I don't
financial
want to
advice?
I don't want to be responsible for people winning or losing money. But I mean, you can DM me. If you DM me, then I can tell you it's not a financial advice, and we can go over and be happy. And if you want, what I can do is I can teach you how to use the Meteor liquidity pools, which I think is something anyone within crypto, if you like crypto enough, you should know how to set up a concentrated liquidity position.
Yeah, but Meteora is particularly complicated. So maybe you want to do that on a stream with the community at some point. I don't know.
We can do it with Alcor. Alcor is pretty simple.
Yeah, Alcor is pretty simple, but with Meteor and all those bins and the bin size and all these different liquidity, you can't just swap a token, right? You can't, like, you have to choose which bin you want, which pool you want to swap against, and it's like, what?
You need to know the tools. Yeah, it's actually pretty complex, and I am surprised that people, they just go ahead with it. They just learn how to do it instead of optimizing the way you can do it. It's curious at the least.
On this little sheet I said, and we'll get to your questions right away. On this little sheet I said, saying you should teach the red and yellow mobs how to use liquidity pools and maybe farms and so on, because apparently the blue one has the upper hand there.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't really know if it is related to liquidity pools and actually because they are more active.
Vince is saying I was slurping. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. It's a hot tea. We went to the ocean for the weekend, and we just came back this very morning, and we had the heating off in the house, and with these uninsulated houses at 12 degrees Celsius outdoors, it was really cold in the house. So it's still pretty cold. So we're got to resort to hot beverages right now.
Sikostos is also asking me, are you promoting Nescafe? No, it is really just one of the... We have like 8 mugs of this one, and we like them. We don't even drink Nescafe.
Hot beer is really not good.
Can you see the shadow? I hate you guys.
Okay, there was someone here from Comrade Boris. Someone on Discord said they were a creator staking their own collection, and it was pointed out that this was forbidden since Sasha was there because his wife got him in trouble for that whole issue. Why is the new key holder talking about staking his own collection, then going to boost his own? Well, yeah, that is problematic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one thing if they stake high supply NFTs, right? Because then, like, okay, but it's another thing, and there was kind of this case in particular was that they were like one of ones or something like that, that were staked, and that's definitely not cool. So that's when we said, okay, creators should not stake their NFTs, right? So we should look into this. Comrade Boris, if you know who that is, or
I
which
know,
collection.
I know who that is. Yeah, maybe it is that he just doesn't know about it. We can talk with him, and he will be good with it. I am sure about that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's the overlord, he can boost his collection. The thing that he cannot do is play with his own NFTs. That's it.
Yeah, and like I said, to me personally, like if it becomes exploitative, this is when it's
Yeah.
really bad. If it's just a handful of NFTs or whatever, right? I would say, hey, it's not that bad, but like that's me personally. The rules obviously need to be more definite, right?
Yes.
There should be less leeway.
I mean, of course, if I get the overlord and I am a creator, I will want to provide this utility for my users. So I will boost the collection. That's logical, and that's great.
Sure,
Yeah.
but
So
that doesn't
I
mean
mean, I am sure we
the,
can talk with him, and that's it, and he will understand. There's no problem about it.
okay, there were a few questions regarding play. So Tukui has been asking when play, when does it launch, when in the top 100 of in terms of market cap. The latter I cannot promise to happen. That would be awesome. Um, and Brent has been asking about the snapshot date announcement this week. Is that happening? And will the play token be used for the? So CapTop has been asking this. So regarding the date, right? I know that and we've had a bunch of discussions last week as well. There is a strong focus on the date, on the launch date of the token, because that affects all of you who are currently already holding Wombat or was, right? So we understand why there's such a strong focus on when is this finally happening. We're desperate. We've been waiting for this, and so on. For us, we have to view it from a different side as well. We have to view it from a how do we get the best possible campaign out, so that we can get as many people from outside of our current community excited about play, right? And that's why the communication will be very well. There's a certain strategy to the communication, so that's why we cannot hand out all the information all at once, because there's a certain build up for the token and so on. For the announcements, for the like specific announcements. So that's going to start very very soon, and then it's not going to last for too long. So the wait, there's not a lot of waiting time anymore, but we can't tell you the specific date just yet, because that would spoil kind of our overall strategy, right? We've had a few discussions, one-on-ones and so on, over the past few weeks, where we spilled a few more beans and so on. So just please stay tuned. It's not a lot of time anymore, and you'll know, right? But we can't give you these dates because this is literally part of the communication strategy, and the outsiders, obviously people who are not part of the community just yet, they care a little less about the date, but they care much more about what it is, and that they can get behind that and so on, right? So this is that's how we need to communicate to these people.
So, sorry,
Yeah,
I want to
go ahead.
tackle this. It seems the overlord is here. Mr. LT said, I am here listening. I'm not sure if you have decided to be the overlord, but yeah, I mean, don't worry about it too much. We can talk it about on a Discord DM, but it's what we just said. If you have any questions, you can ask. But I actually think it is a great use case for your overlord to give some utility to your holders.
Totally. And then following on regarding play with the question by CapTop. So any tokens that aren't any Wombat tokens that are in the vault will be moved to play underneath, right? So instead of receiving Wombat, you will be receiving play eventually.
Yes.
So that's what we what we have prepared, right? And so yeah, if the payout is in play, then your vaulted tokens will be moved to from wombat to play as well. Okay.
Don't use Sunmar. I will have nightmares with that. I'm not sure. There are some protocols that don't have a token yet. For example, Margin5. I like Margin5. I love the product, but if you're not too much into Solana, you will realize that they implemented a point system almost 2 years ago, and they haven't released a token yet. So they are meme about it. Every post they do similar to us, but on a greater scale. Every post they do, they are like, yes, but when Margin5 token, when the token, and the only reply you get from them is that the foundation is working hard. But it has been like that for a year, so it's crazy. I mean, yeah. Have not decided. Mr. LT says have not decided yet. Still waiting for a good trade offer. I am sure you have received some trade offers.
Vince understood that you can't name which exchanges. Perhaps you could share the number of exchanges. Well, we're still working on getting more. So I would say, and then the question is also not like the number doesn't gain you much, right? Because a lot of the exchanges, they're actually not really worth it, right? So I would say I could tell you the number of exchanges that matter, but I don't feel comfortable doing that, to be honest, because it would be too obvious from.
We were discussing that the other day. Do you remember? Like, what makes an exchange tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1? What do you think where do you draw the line? Guys, what do you think that will be a tier 1 exchange, a tier 2, a tier C, a tier 2, tier A, tier B, and TC?
It's very interesting because we have a bunch of people we work with who basically were saying, hey, tier 1 exchanges right, and I'm like, hey, to me that's not a tier 1 exchange, right? And also that's been changing. So to me, literally, I would say there's essentially tier 1 exchanges is Coinbase and Binance, right? That's it.
I will think the same way. I would like to put OKX maybe as a tier 1. Maybe it is OKX is big in Asia.
Yeah, so OKX, for instance, that's a very interesting case already. Or KuCoin, right? KuCoin at some point was considered close to being tier 1, not anymore, probably. Then Bybit came up and wanted to become tier 1, and well, then, right? So it's really difficult, and it's really hard to make the numbers work with what they look for and what you need to put out there and so on, right? So it's really hard.
It's very interesting. Some people say that, and that's great to discuss about, because as you can see in the comments, people cannot decide because Lack says I will add Kraken, Crypto.com, and KuCoin to the tier 1 list. So we don't really know which are tier 1 list and tier 2.
Everybody has a different definition of that, right?
Actually, even though people say that Binance has a lot of restrictions, in Latin America it is the best. I gotta say Binance is the best way to interact with crypto in Latin America.
Yeah, the biggest issue is that volume doesn't equal volume, right? Because that's what everyone's looking for when it comes to exchanges. So the one exchange that can drive a lot of organic volume is Binance. But what most people don't realize is that if you look at the top 20 exchanges on CoinMarketCap, they say they filter out anorganic volume, but there is so much inorganic volume, whatever that means, right? So basically, volume that's just being made in order for the numbers to look better.
It's true. Telegram exchange.
Is that a thing?
I don't even know about it. Actually, it happened to me when I went to NFT NYC last year. I wanted to withdraw some funds from Binance, and then I was geo-blocked because the app that I have from Binance is not the same app that you have from Binance in the US.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm fucked.
You're not, because you can use a VPN.
I was blocked. I actually tried it with my phone. I wasn't able to do it.
Well, I tried from a computer.
My
you can definitely
family
use Binance from a computer using a VPN,
Oh,
or
you're
at least
geo-blocked from Uniswap. Oh my god.
this is a thing.
I didn't know about that.
This geo blocking stuff.
But you're from the US, right, Prince? That's interesting.
This is an interesting one. Is there any desire to help US users with tax compliance with NFTs, especially on Atomic Hub? Would be amazing if we could get a spreadsheet from Atomic Hub of all our Atomic Hub activity and stuff from Atomic Hub. Yeah, that should be possible. That's actually an interesting case. When is Spielworks? So we'll definitely note that down, Master Shin. Let's see. I mean, let's see whether there's anything we can do for the upcoming tax season in the US. When is Spielworks acquiring an exchange? This is it's a very interesting case, because back in the day when we first launched Wombat, there was a massive question regarding kind of a wallet business. How do you make money with a wallet business? How can you run a wallet business sustainably, right? If you don't offer, let's say, enterprise services for wallets or whatever, right? And so a lot of the wallet businesses a lot of the wallet apps and so on that emerged back in 2018, 2019, 2020, they don't exist anymore, right? Because it's really hard to run a business off of this. What was that? Blockchain.com, for instance, they were one of the first ones coming up with the idea of running their own exchange back in the day, right? So that they could direct the traffic from their own wallet into their own exchange, which is actually pretty smart, right? Just like crypto.com also do that. But you need a lot of volume, and it's really hard to drive enough traffic into your own, from your own ecosystem into your exchange for it to actually be worth it, because it's a fixed cost business, right? There's like most of the costs that accrue when you run an exchange is fixed cost, right? You need to run a lot of servers, a lot of let's say you run a lot of technologies, because you have deposits and withdrawals and all kinds of chains and so on. There's a lot of fixed costs, so it is an economies of scale kind of thing, where the more users you have, the better, right? And it's they're cheap to actually run from a kind of pure technical perspective. So it's really a numbers business, and there's such a fragmentation in exchanges. It's really not a thing that I know that this may not have been a serious question, Rising Dragons, but this is we're nowhere close to doing this. I'd much rather go into into the DEX area and do something there and have like whatever Wombat swap or something like that. Much more than running an exchange like a centralized exchange.
There's a company that has gone this path. Do you know the Matlats backpack? So Matlats, they are an NFT collection, but they are the owners of the Backpack wallet. They set up the Backpack exchange, and now they have acquired FTX Europe. So they have progressed a lot in that sense. Be careful, using a VPN is fraud. You're lying about your location to circumvent regulations. Yeah, I agree. I didn't even use it, so good.
Oh, I didn't. Is that so? Because I'm always puzzled about regulations, but maybe you're right, lucked out. So maybe I shouldn't be recommending this. Um, but I was basically under the impression, hey, come on, I have an account from Germany, right? So why wouldn't I
Yes.
be able to use an exchange? Although I'm registered as a German user, right? So I'm not circumventing regulations. Maybe I am, right? If I use a VPN. So for the record, I've never used a VPN to access Binance from from inside the US.
The next day, the lawsuit on your door for trading $1 of BTC.
I didn't even trade anything. I don't believe I traded anything. It was just to withdraw money or look at. Back then, I still had a Binance card because they were still supporting Germany, Europe. Um, um, does that mean you believe in economies of scope more than economies of scale because of the volume thing? That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's actually with. I mean, I used to work with the German stock exchange for 7 years back in the day, right? And they have exactly that type of business, right? So they would literally want to onboard as much traffic as they could because it's a fixed business. That's it's basically the same with games as well, right? So developing a game and running a game is basically a one-off cost, pretty much, and then they would like to the marginal cost of onboarding additional users from a kind of pure tech perspective or whatever is pretty much zero, right? So it's all about marketing and getting as many users as possible. So I do believe in that kind of business. It's just that the volumes don't come from people using things, right? So if you want volume on your tokens, let's say, or on crypto in general, this is not being done. This is not being generated by people who want to use these tokens. These is the large volumes are created by people who want to speculate on those tokens, and that's a totally different audience than, for instance, what we have with Wombat. Right, in Wombat, most of the audience, most of the people who trade tokens want to actually use the tokens in the games that they play, for instance, right? So there's never going to be like these speculative volumes like the ones that you need on exchanges. Um, the dentist. This is a cool question. And are you close to have your own blockchain? Because it's actually funny because the answer is very similar, right? It's worth doing that because it's like if you have a lot of volume. So I can totally imagine, or if you have a very good reason, like a technical reason or whatever to do so. So I can very much imagine that to happen for Playmind at some point, right? Part of the reason why we're building this on, am I spoiling? Am I giving out too much alpha? Anyway, part of the reason
Maybe.
why we're going to be building this on EVM is that it's easier to migrate this, right? And we did have some talks about maybe running our own, well, blockchain, whatever that means, maybe layer 2 or layer 3 or layer 4 or layer 5, whatever, um, in order to run certain parts of the business of Spielworks. We've constantly had that, right? We were discussing a Wombat chain internally at some point. So for Playmind, that might actually become a thing as soon as there's a good reason to do so. But very likely it's not going to be kind of a proprietary layer 1 blockchain, but more likely something that you can use out of the box.
An optimistic rollup, a rollup on Solestia.
Yeah. What about RWAs on Atomic Hub? I think we've had that question before. I think that would be a very interesting avenue. We've had a few discussions with legal people to basically NFTify our RWAs, real world assets, and make them tradable as NFTs. The problem is that this needs to be gated, right? So you can't, like, we would have to create a regulated environment for this part of Atomic Hub. But if there is demand for that, and we can get into a partnership with RWA providers, then this could become a thing.
I just love reading the chat, and the $5 is on fire today. Did you just sleep at EVM? You're not planning on making us pay ETH gas fees, are you?
uh,
So
um,
it was fun because I don't know if you know, Solana kind of broke yesterday. Did you know
it
about
breaks
that?
all the time. So what's the news?
That's true, but yeah, it kind of broke. So it didn't really like halt or anything, but the transaction fees were very high, and so most of the apps on Solana it didn't have this automatic feature to query the APIs for the fees that are landing right now. So they were broken. You were not able to land transactions on most decentralized apps. So I actually yesterday trying to solve all the mess that I did. I spent like zero point 0.4 Solana trying to land these transactions. So high fees are not a problem. They are a feature.
There's different opinions on that, for sure, right? So I understand, and that's a similar discussion to be had, for instance, about EOS RAM, right? When EOS RAM has become much more expensive in the last, let's say, 12 months, right? And whether that is a feature or a bug, that's up for debate. So in theory, yes, if there's enough economic activity on a network to justify super high fees and people would still pay them, right? What's the problem with this? That's true. It's just not very inclusive, right? So this is so only people. So basically, people who have a lot of money will always hijack the network, and they will have priority because um, larger trades are cheaper, right? Because if the fee is always 0.4 sol, then you won't trade one sol, right? But you will trade 100 sol if you can make a deal. So and that's typically from a kind of game theoretical perspective, it's not good if you want to reach mass adoption, but you make fees cheaper for large transactions, right? Because typically your small traders will become big traders if they are able to make money. If they don't, then yeah, well, it's problematic, right? So I don't know. There's a big discussion to be had.
That's true.
Mm.
Look at if fees are almost always high. Yeah. I remember in 2021, $300 of fees being considered normal. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, but you can also see on that the progress that all the chains have done. If we get half the volume that I see that left over there. No, I mean, now a high fee on Ethereum could be considered 20 to $30 since the Cancun upgrade. Way back on 2021, it will be $200 to $300 with a slight chance of it not landing.
Yep. It's um, it's a fun discussion here. For instance, Rising Dragons has been suggested. We had Kashmir, Wombatiums, we had Tier, we have Bird right now. Is it too soon to say goodbye to Bird and expect a new thing? So we typically have been rotating them so that they don't get over minted and we can kind of contain an economy around each of these stake only Wombatiums, right? So it's interesting because Beaton Bob has been responded. Let them focus on play. So I think we always need to do a little bit of both, right? We of course are putting a lot of emphasis with a large portion of the team into play, into the launch, not just the play token, but also everything surrounding this. So yeah, but at the same time, we need to keep everything else running and developing, right? So Santiago's main objective typically is to keep the Dungeon Master community as happy as possible. So,
Yes.
um, what do you think about Plume?
What is Bloom?
I don't know. that a blockchain?
I haven't heard about that, and I am surprised I haven't
Oh,
heard.
the public blockchain for scaling RWAs. Never
Okay,
heard.
not me neither.
I might look into this. Plume. Okay. Thanks, Pure Village people. I'll have a look. Choco Crypto is suggesting, how about giving Wombat and WAS holders 0.1 IMX on zkVM, or probably whatever amount, so they can interact with the blockchain once and for all in Atomic Hub? I think that would be a smart strategy. Yeah, something like that we could probably do. So we'll have to think about kind of thresholds or maybe VIP levels or whatever, and doing that so that you can basically buy NFTs and or sell NFTs that you have.
So as of last week, I'm also helping out with Atomic Hub. So any feature, any bug, any problem, just let me know as well.
Walk the grid. Oh, yeah. The prizes of last week, I'm not sure whether we distributed them. To be honest. Let me check.
Where is my Wombat police report?
So we'll definitely check.
AH needs a tool that shows us what's taking games. Oh, that would be cool. What contract it's taking. I mean, you can already see it, not in the best way, but you can already see if which template is stake on which, if you know the wallets. But I mean, if you want to suggest it, then just send me a DM with the suggestion and we can evaluate it. How do I see it? What? What do you want to see? Ansi is giving a controversial take here. I wish there were no high MP NFTs in the Well of Wealth. I know people will hate me.
No, this
A
is
well
tough.
being a well. No, I'm kidding. See what I have stake. Oh, so you mean what NFTs you have stake on which? Oh, that's a good feature. I didn't understand it correctly at first. I wish we had no fragments in the Well of Will.
There was another question about the newbie pool update.
Yes, I saw it and we let it pass. Sorry. So newbie pool update, please. Keep, nerf, or scrap. Right now, I think scrapping is too drastic of a change. We want to nerf it. And I have been saying that we will nerf it. I really hope that we can do it by this season. And it will hopefully be live by this season. We have been changing devs, so adapting the environments and everything takes some time. But the changes are not too big, so I hope we can get it done. That's the reason, because otherwise we will have done it way easier, but people have to adapt, and it takes time.
So we triggered something here, clearly, which is good, because you should understand it like that. So that's good. So if your job is to keep the Dungeon Master community happy, could you set it so clan leaders can set the level that can be activated for kitchen and stadium? Would stop any problems for my clan next season.
Okay. I mean, yeah, as we said, well, now that we can be open about it, we changed steps. I'm very optimistic about this change. I think it will be for the better of the development of the game. So it will get slower at first. So first they need to get used to the code, and then afterwards we can start rolling with the changes. As we said in the chat with the PM last Friday, so the priorities right now are to change first the newbie pool, which I know everyone is not happy with it. Then do a little changes to the shop, so we can get rolling with some ideas that I have with it. And then we need to give a lot of attention to clans, because I know the resources are not resources are accumulating and you don't have a way to use them. I like the idea that Flawless gave about consumables for clans. I love it. We need to implement it. We also need to add some use cases for gold. The problem is not that we are not aware of the things that are needed, I think personally, but that we need to start rolling with features, and I want to start rolling faster with it.
That was a suggestion that I take off my pants and jacket is bringing up that I think was brought up
That's a good
1 or 2 weeks
one. Yes,
ago,
I
right?
said that was a good one. I like it.
So that is kind of in conjunction with the newbie pool discussion.
So the way it works right now is also that
Go ahead.
you need to spend 3 seasons before you can move to the experienced player pool.
Or you reach level 30, right? I think 30 is
No,
the threshold.
we discovered that it didn't work.
Oh,
Yeah, that's part of the things that you start to discover. So yeah,
well, that is bad
yes.
because we had been talking about this for so long, and then I've been basically saying, "Hey, we have this now, so this should remedy some of these problems. Not all of them, but some of the problems that we have with the newbie pool, because then the big players who advance really quickly with a lot of items, who we haven't banned through the multi-accounting mechanism, will move out of the newbie pool very quickly. But if that's not working, then obviously we have a problem there.
It's actually cool that we have this new developer because we have been looking for the code a lot. So now I know also where we can find the stuff for future use cases. So it will be good. I actually am pretty positive about these changes.
So there's been a question about the CR1s. So the CR1s, yeah. So it's loaded because there's a lot of legacy of the CR1s, right? And I know that we have been talking about them and basically saying, okay, we want to launch them, but well, there's two parts that are basically holding us back. One is that there were originally promises made by WASDER regarding the CR1s, and contracts actually closed and so on, right? So there was a bit of a backlash by part of the community who invested in this and who never got anything out of it. But that's got nothing to do with us, right? Because we never made that promise. We just acquired assets from WASDER, never acquired any kind of liabilities or any arrangements or whatever. So so that's one thing, right? That the sentiment around the CR1s may be a little bit damaged because of that. But the second part, and that's actually even more important, is that currently it's a really tough market for NFT collections, right? So if we launch that and we invested into this, right? So we spent a lot of time and effort and money on getting them ready to a point where we could launch them. It's it's just not a good business case. Let's put it that way, right? So we are considering what we can do with them. We have a few concepts in mind with Playmind and beyond that, right? We cannot promise anything, but it's definitely not imminent, right? So it's not happening in the next month or two. So we are still looking to do something with that and launch it, but not the way we had originally planned. Master Shin, I have not looked today, but I heard last time I looked there was a large disparity in Paul Wombat and Wax Wombat price and utility. So essentially, the price of the Wombat token on Polygon and the price of the Wombat token on Wax, right? I think that this is mostly about that. Will we ever get a bridge? So yeah, in general, this has been a problem for a few months now, on and off, essentially, since the EOS bridge, the EOS Wax RP, what's it called? Not RPC. What was this? IBC bridge. That's what it was. Was closed after the hard fork of EOS, right? So before that, we had price parity pretty much, and after that, we didn't because there is no bridge, no official. We're working on a solution for the play token. It's just gonna be incredibly hard for us to implement that before and then migrate this to play. So I would say um, we will solve the problem for play, right? But I'm not sure if we will solve the problem for Wombat prior to play. Now I'm putting more pressure on the play launch date, obviously. But we're trying to manage so that this doesn't go out of hand. It's not great. We understand that this is not ideal, but at the same time, we don't want to just dump tokens on one side, right? And in order to equalize the price, because that would be the easy thing to do, right?
IBC went away. It was so sad. Yeah, I mean, I want to cry every time I hear about IBC on Wax because in other chains it actually works.
So what needs to happen in order for that to work on Wax? You know,
it's a huge drama around it, and it was a very stressful moment in my life.
I know, but maybe you can share some details
So
about
the
this.
so the reason the IBC stopped working is because the US Network Foundation updated the network to LEAP 2.0. I'm not sure which LEAP it was, but it updated to LEAP. With those changes, the consensus didn't work, so the IBC actually broke. It worked in some direction, so you were able to still withdraw your USDT from, was that Antelope? It was, I mean, the IBC is an effort from the Antelope Foundation, but the problem, it resulted in that you were only able to reach back, for example, your USDT back to EOS, but you were not able to reach USDT to WAX. So yeah, I mean, it was not a good call on your side because they just said, hey, if you want to fix it, then you just have to agree to leap. But the licenses were kind of expensive, so not every chain, not any chain on the Antelope Coalition wanted to do that. And that's it, actually. It isn't working right now until someone updates to leap or until EOS wants to do something to fix the IBC. I know that recently Algor Exchange, along with the Wax team and with EOS USA, they released some funds that were stuck in the IBC bridge on Wax side. So that's actually great.
Oh, so I'll get my tokens back as well.
You should have obtained them already.
Okay, cool. um, this is funny by Prince Paradox. Elon got the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, right? Will we get the Wombat Office of Mining Badass Things?
The Wombat, nice.
So this is also for you, again, being the one who is supposed to make the community happy. Rising Dragons is complaining about the chest being bad.
The chest is bad. It's empty. We're working on it. By next season we will have the gem shards. So we will also be giving away some gem shards so you can blend them into gem. I haven't told you about it, but we will do it.
It's funny because there was a time when I would know these things, right? And now I have to learn about them on stream. So
as well
I'm
with everyone else.
Sometimes it's genuine.
Fragments suck. No more fragments. We try to give away gems. The problem is that they get emptied too fast, and we cannot give away too much of them all the time. My idea is to have some gems, some fragment of gems that you can actually blend into gems, and to be able to blend your way forward into the buyback. So it's actually good. You're getting more NFTs, and they are back with the value of the buyback of the gems. So it's not the same way at the pack fragments.
I'm not sure whether this will receive a lot of love from chat here because you're calling, like, branding them fragments is a mistake probably because this will give
it will be called shards. Yeah, but yes.
Mr. LT15 is asking, are there any collections that cannot be boosted with the key? Can I boost anything, or are there restrictions? I think the only restriction that we put up is that you cannot boost the dungeon items collection. I think that was
Yes, that's it.
the only one. Right? That would be pretty awesome. Swim dodged wins. It gets harder and harder to pronounce this. I received all these lowest rarity wombat champions from community events. I have an epic that I bought or brought. No legendary or mythic. This new upgrade blend is out of touch, in my opinion, with low MP and don't even have any above epic, to be honest.
So, two things. We should be able to. We should give away more mythics and legendary NFTs from them. We need to start giving some circulating supply to it. And the second, I forgot what I was about to say. We could always do a poll to see if we can increase the mining power of them. If you want to. Is that what you want, guys? I want to see your opinion in the chat.
Anzi is at least liking the gem fragment idea.
I know you will like them because there's actually some value in them. And you will be getting something more. It isn't like you're getting less. And the problem with the partner NFTs is that that's what they told me, that you didn't like them, guys. So that's why they removed it. So if we want to bring more collab NFTs, we also need to create some good schemes for them to have actual value.
So is this gonna be like Diablo? Or I guess Diablo is meant here.
Soul gems. No more Diablo references.
What are soul gems?
I'm not sure. You can
Webby has
have
been
multiple
suggesting to boost the trees. That would be fun indeed. Fragments could be the next confetti, but on the wax.
Tell me more about confetti. I don't know. About
confetti was basically the first NFT that we created ourselves, right? That was back then with Sasha. Sasha came up with, or whatever, we came up with this idea for OnePlay to create this confetti NFT, and if you had it in your wallet, you could press C on OnePlay on the OnePlay front end, or click on the logo, and this would throw confetti. That was it essentially, but there was a little bit more to that because there were different attributes in the confetti NFTs randomized, and those would stack, right? So if you had multiple NFTs, it would throw more confetti particles. But so that was funny in the beginning, but then everybody stopped caring about this nice little effect at some point, right? And ever since then, after a few weeks, people were asking, so what else can we do with the confettis? They're annoying. We're just getting these confettis. They're worth nothing because nobody wants them, right? So at some point, we stopped handing out confettis. And then at some point, we added utility to the confettis, and their price skyrocketed. And it was always this running joke that whenever I spoke about confettis on stream, their price would go up because people would start speculating that something's going to happen to confettis, right? But eventually, I think the price is 10 times, 15 times what it used to be at lowest price.
Blackout bought all the confettis. Is that true?
It's not possible to buy all the confettis, but
I mean, yeah, I know it's not possible.
But I haven't looked at the floor price of confettis in a long time, because it hasn't been kind of a debate that's been going on here, right? But I think this is exactly what can happen with any low value NFT out there, right? That at some point, and I've been suggesting that to Santiago about one other NFT that has a history with Dungeon Master.
The shrimp.
Now you spoiled it, right? Now
I talked about the shrimp the last Friday.
You did? Okay.
I know you guys broke a collection. I know your history.
Because I was saying like this would be a funny reminiscence because there's still so many shrimp staked, right, of people by people who aren't even playing anymore or whatever, who haven't noticed that it got nerfed, and so on. So it would be so cool if suddenly shrimp would become um, like super scarce, right? Because we start using it for whatever it is, right? So that was what I suggested at some point to Santiago to use it um, for a blend or something,
You
right?
will if I will have listened to you, because it was implemented for the Christmas red, the level 5 blend. If I would have listened to you, I wouldn't have had so many problems with the combination that I used for that blend.
Listen to me. But look,
We should use the shrimp.
just to display this, right? So this is the confetti. The floor price is 0.8 wax now. So if you look back all time, right, where it used to be in dollars, like 3 cents. So this is when we started. This is when everybody started complaining. Hey, no, this is. I don't even think that this is the entire history. I think it's even older than that. But anyway, so it's 3 cents. That was kind of the lowest price, give or take, right? And then it went all the way up to 60, 70 cents now, right? So it's very skewed in supply, right? So there's 100,000 confettis in existence, 50,000 pretty much staked. We still own a few, and there's few on the market, but there's a lot of them across all kinds of like accounts where people have been holding them. And look at this, I also hold some.
I think people are asking for a shrimp combination.
And then you can blend acid grannies, whatever this was called, shrimps into this.
It will be fun. And we can give it in the chest. I love it.
When somebody boosts the Prime X collection, the confetti would be back. Yeah, because they're used in the.
I'll be back.
In the rotate letters blend.
I'm not sure if you're also aware, you're getting a Grandmaster pack this season.
Who's getting it? Me? I'm getting a Grandmaster pack?
Bean Town Bob.
Oh.
So the first place is getting a Grandmaster pack from... Wait, what? Buy fragments before we get a fragment invasion. That's a good
one. Shrimp cocktail blend. We should use the shrimp. The shrimp has... people have. Master Shin has a lot of shrimp.
Serious question. What is going to happen to that collection that still have a sidekick? Yeah, I remember there's a collection that has to be with Raw, and they also have a sidekick. One solution could be we implement a blend for the sidekick that is not active anymore, and you can get a pack again. No? What do you think?
This would be pretty massive.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I think that people with the less useful sidekicks would love that, and everyone else would hate that.
But, I mean there's one collection that has to be removed from Dungeon Master. So the sidekick is not active. It doesn't work anymore. So for that sidekick, it might be a good solution. But like if you pull it again, well, you can blend it again.
Or you make new packs that don't contain those anymore. But yeah.
We could make the new packs as well. But first, the design has the sidekick that is no longer active there still. So we will have to ask for a new design. And then we will have 2 different sidekick packs.
So
Adrian got so shocked that he didn't even drink the sip.
It's funny because I always like fidgeting with things, so that also if I don't have anything to fidget with, then I sometimes just take a sip of my drink, right? So I keep sipping. Um, I wanted to have a look at the shrimp.
How many
Um,
NFTs?
it's actually not that many.
Oh,
It's
okay.
125,000 total supply, and 93,000 of them are burned. Where did they get burned? So it's just 30,000 of those left. So it's obviously really, really cheap.
You killed
Um,
the collection. I hope you're happy. How many are stick? Can you check?
yeah, sure. I'm doing this. 15,000 of those are staked. So pretty much, oh, man, oh, and these people here holding hundreds, they would be really happy. So 15,000 of the 30,000 that are left are staked, right? So there's basically just 15,000.
Financial advice, but we will make shrimps great one day.
Um, but I can imagine that somebody will go and buy some shrimp today.
When are we fixing gold? Some clans are still struggling with getting gold.
And some clans have too much gold.
Yeah, that's. I was about to say that. That some people are saying, yeah, we don't have enough use cases for gold. Actually, I learned last season that that you used gold for the Overlord blend previously. Is that right?
That was the original Overlord. This is how gold came into existence, right? We wanted to create something that's really hard to obtain, so that the golden key you could only buy with gold in the shop, right? And there was a lot of gold. I think the first one was 100 gold, and that was really hard to get. So people would have to stake a lot of gold extractors and so on, and the gold extractors were obviously also really hard to get. And the only way of getting the parts was from the packs, and the packs you had to buy and so on, right? So this was the original idea, that this is something that's really hard to obtain, right? And it's still nowadays it is still hard to obtain it, right? It's just that yeah, it's different every time.
Gold should be transferred in NFTs and sold on the market. We actually talk about that. What do you think? Listen to this idea. So we can tokenize these materials, these resources. You can get gold nuggets, iron nuggets, and gold nuggets from the shop. And then the next Overlord blend this season that is starting, we can set up some blends for you to try to get it. So the gold gives you a one in, this is an example, a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting the Overlord. The iron nuggets gives you 1 in 2,000 chances of getting the Overlord, and the gold 1 in 4,000, something like this.
Yeah, that is Master Shin is pointing this out. This is what happened before, right? If you, especially if you do that for the quote unquote cheap materials, this is going to cause a lot of accounts to basically just play the game to farm resources, farm materials, right? So they will stake a lot of like 100, 200, 300 very cheap NFTs, and will just farm material. Just so you know, that's going to happen. Whether that's what you want or not, that's a different story.
With what?
With your nuggets.
So
right?
bots
If
will
there's
come by.
value, so as soon as there's value in just farming a lot of material, and you can get stuff for free for material, this is going to cause a lot of, not saying botters, not saying multi-accounters, but probably yes, right, as well, uh, who will basically just farm gold. We had that effect when we first added Alien Worlds as a collection, for instance.
And
Suddenly
they
we
mine
had
gold?
not gold,
Oh,
but whatever it was. But suddenly we had a lot of accounts staking 100 Alien Worlds NFTs, which were really, really cheap. Like the floor price for those was really cheap, right? And basically just farming the material, a lot of those. And then we had to step by step remove the most basic Alien Worlds NFTs from staking.
okay, makes sense. Racing Dragon says, when Adrian says no, it's a no, but when Adrian says yes, it's a polite no.
What? Who's saying stuff like that?
That's true. You learn how to interact with Adrian. Adrian is very expressive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure.
Sometimes I start sentences with, "Yeah, you can do that," and then comes the but.
To stop butters, you can add a level or requirement. I was thinking about that actually. I wasn't going to say that, but yes, I was thinking about that. Similar, I mean, it's a concept from Sunflower Land, and also Pirate Nation has employed. You need to be level 10 to be able to buy or sell NFTs on the market, so it's good. It's not token gated, but level gated. Not like it.
Um, the charts for Alien
Not,
Worlds NFTs staked in Dungeon Master looks insane.
not really VIP. I will do it level gated. Not really associated with your VIP status.
But why not gated with tokens? It's nice,
Because
obviously.
there are people that play not really having the VIP status, so we should do something that they can achieve sooner or later.
They
And
should
you can
get
do
the
it
VIP status. They should stake the tokens that they earn.
for sure, but how much time will it take you to do it if you're a player who
Long
doesn't have
enough, I hope.
a lot?
Make it a pass that you must buy or make them use Wombat that would deter them or make the cost benefits of buying. So that's when we introduce the minting fee, quote unquote, right? The 10 Wombat, 50 Wombat fee for minting and Wombatiums in the shop, right? So that this would prevent anyone from farming free NFTs, a lot of free NFTs. And if anything, then at least it would use Wombat.
You can put a cat invasion at the bottom of the well for one season. What do you think?
No.
Yeah.
You know me so well, Vince. All right, folks, is what Adrian likes to say towards the end of the stream.
Vince
before we
already
go.
knows everything. I mean, the people know you at such a level that they just can predict what are you going to say.
I'll switch it up. I'll change my voice and my behavior entirely.
You cannot do that. Do that. It's deep within you. Mob meme coins on Soul. Well, I mean, I understand the excitement. I don't really think it will work out.
Why?
You need, I mean, for a Soul meme coin to get traction out of the 2 million coins that are created every day, you need to have a very good strategy. So really, we just bridge the tokens to Soul. Is not that people will manually discover them. They will need to. You need to do something more for them to gain traction.
Set them up on meme on Meteora.
I love meme. I'm spoiled by Meteora. I just love Meteora right now.
It's definitely the hardest to use decks in the world.
But the most rewarding. I mean, it's part of the game, no? If you know, in Spanish we say no at the end of some sentences, and I just did that on English. I don't know what I was saying. I just laughed about it. But yeah, if you know how to use the most complex stuff, then you have an edge over the rest of the people.
Ving Arctic Wolf is asking, will it be possible to use play in other places besides Dungeon Master and staking? So no, that's not what we're working on right now, right? That's not the idea. Is not that we add a lot of utility for play on top of what there is of what is there already for Wombat. Instead, we'll be working on kind of the end goal, right, for play.
Can we change the well a little and maybe have less points next season? What do you refer with points? Like contribution or the tip of the well?
Less points.
I don't understand what he refers to points.
Fewer tasks to.
I mean, if you can elaborate it, for sure we
Yeah.
can answer to that.
How about this? Mob meme coins in the well.
Is that possible? Let me see the dashboard. Wait.
No, we can't put tokens in there, but we can put Wombatiums in there, and then you could redeem those for or whatever NFTs, and then we can set up blends or whatever to redeem those for mob meme coins.
Interesting. Yeah, we could do something with the mobs. Invasion. Well,
And we hold a lot of these tokens now because of the drops.
you can reward a material, contribution, perk, or NFT. You're right.
Is the announcement still going to be 2 weeks before the launch of play? Yeah, for yes, not yeah, but yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, you will have that in your head, and now every time you said yeah, you will remember that.
I hope I'll forget about it.
No, you won't. It will.
It will.
It will stay with you forever.
Yes. So we still want to give everyone who's a holder of existing tokens a heads up, right? So that in case you hold tokens in a liquidity pool or whatever, you can withdraw them from there to receive your airdrop, right?
If you put the Cat Bombation on the season holder side, you will boost sales. The problem with the Well of Wealth right now is you put anything, you will have 1,000 mints of it. If you put it on the right side, if you put it on the left, you will have 10,000 mints.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That is the problem with the Cat Bombation right now.
So
Do you
I
want
take
1,000 mints of the Cat Bombation?
It's contribution points that are in the well right now.
Oh, you want to decrease the ones on the well.
Okay. And have nothing instead, or have something else instead? Yeah. So that's a discussion, right? But having 1,000, I don't know, we don't have that many cat Wombatiums, right? What's the supply of the cat Wombatium now?
Let me check.
Right, you have that fancy
Yes.
sheet, so you can look it up immediately.
Cut. Loading. Oh, it seems there's none in the market. Or maybe it's the API that I got rate limited. No, it seems there's none in the market right now.
Yeah, but how many exist? That's the question.
We have 19 Cat Wombations.
Yeah, so that's the problem, that there is a value to the cat Wombatium because it's so scarce, and if we create
And 15 have been burned, so only 4 in circulation. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, so if we put them in the Well of Wealth, even on the right side, as Santiago said, there's going to be like 1,000 additional mints. So that's definitely going to destroy the economy for cat Wombatium. So what we could do is create a blend for that, and then add ingredients for that in the Well of Wealth that specifically can be used in that blend. And that's something that's something that Santiago and I basically are always thinking about. Kind of how can you keep these economies intact while creating additional access or adding more value to the Well of Wealth, for instance.
You will have a blend, guys, but it will be limited. Maybe maximum 100 of them.
100 is a lot already.
Do you know why I do this? It's because it itches. That's why I want to get rid of this. I hate it. We should change. Oh, can we get some worst redeemed soon too? What is worst?
Worst is a token that I created on Wax a while ago. That's basically just I'm just deploying liquidity pools against this.
I love this
And,
chat. Uh,
and
I
worst
will
is the
reply to you.
German word for sausage, in case you don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Regarding cat formation, we could have cat fragments until next session. I hate you.
Yeah, but it will. This would really change the narrative around any type of fragments, right?
Cat
And then
fragments.
maybe you can then blend pack fragments in whatever way into cat fragments. But cat fragments really sounds funny.
The right leg, left leg,
And
front
now
leg, tail, torso, head.
with kitty fragments, now I'm back to thinking bonsai kitten. If anyone remembers that, you're probably too young, Santiago. But there was this massive thing in the, I guess, in the 90s or so, where they were pretending to actually put little kittens into glasses so that they could take the shape of the glass, right? Because the
Okay.
bones are still
Oh my god.
soft, and they would basically, right, and you could feed them, and this was really disgusting, and but then the FBI came and basically shut down the site. It was a hoax, but Bonsai Kitten, that was a big thing. I don't remember when that was. Katze fragments.
Cat the forbidden one. I love it. It's Exodia, but in cat.
Collab with Soul of the Cat for kitty fragments. Okay.
I mean, if you know her, then DM her and tell him we could do this as a meme, and I will be down for it.
Which one? What?
Wait, Soul of the Cat to set up kitty fragments. We could do something fun out of it. A small collab.
Your village people is saying in season 7, 8, 9, I didn't get to the bottom of the well, but was still profitable to buy the season pass. The problem is you make it too easy for everyone. I just believe people that are willing to spend money should get more profit. So make the well deeper. People who want to spend would buy rope boosts. Yeah, so long as the rope boost is worth what the item is in there. But I mean, a while ago we had which one was that was used for used to blend into the Wombat miner?
The
Sunflower, exactly. And that was huge, right? But I don't really think that there was like straight up value there, right? I think the sunflower was pretty much the price of the season pass all by itself, right? But that I don't remember that boosting sales for the season pass, to be honest. But we can have a look at the data. A lot of good questions here. That's one for you again. Vince is asking, with heavy penalty being imposed recently on players for negative stamina, I don't think that it's fair for players to start, say, 1 to 7 seasons ago. We have no way to reduce our stamina unless we are willing to pay overpriced gear NFTs 2 generations ago. Any viable solutions on this?
I haven't checked honestly the price of the stamina reduction gear.
There isn't much. It's very illiquid.
Oh, there are not a lot of them. We will continue experimenting with the stamina. I think I am not happy with how it is currently, but we are getting there. We need to implement a couple more changes.
You heard it.
Make the well shorter and increase the value of the items. Condense. Sometimes I cannot read when the condense the value of the items. No, I mean it will just generate more people actually achieving the NFT.
Yeah, interesting. Or people will just keep sharing big rope hats like they do right now. So essentially moving them over to another account to claim before you claim the tasks.
I know there's a mythic level 2 or level 3 around, So it actually, I know that people pass them along every season so they can reach faster.
Ban.
Ban? Is that bannable?
I don't think so, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't really think.
Yeah, that's the problem with these kinds of items or item boosts in general, right? The ones that you can that you don't have to consistently kind of keep on, like the ones that boost anything related to runs. Um, that is a problem.
My idea above to limit overminding. Did you post something about overminding? The problem is that if you're a player and you pay for the season pass, then you should be able to get any price that we put there. So it wouldn't be fair to put a mind in something because you could be a player that doesn't have these NFTs, but you could still be grinding to get to the bottom of it. You have the same rights to get the NFT that someone that gets faster.
Really?
Yes, you're still playing. You already paid for the season pass.
But maybe it's a first come first serve thing.
I
I would
mean, yes,
always lose.
I always said that we should have, and you will remember from 2 months ago, we should have a contest, an incentive for people to reach the bottom of the well. The problem is that right now it wouldn't be interesting or even relevant because people reach the bottom of the well in half a day.
Some people do. I typically do that on the last day in the season. Oh, right. I still have to do it because I always do the tasks for the equipping all in one day, right?
Make the time for unstaking year longer than like 1 week. It could be a solution.
Um, oh, Anzi, deeper well depending on the level of the wombat. Interesting.
Ah, that's good.
And Vince is complaining that you didn't really answer.
How to reduce stamina without paying outrageous cost. Right now, there isn't a way. Being directly honest.
So, is there more reduced stamina gear coming?
Do you want more reduced stamina coming? Do you guys want more reduced stamina coming? The next pack
Laptop
should,
says
okay. It
exactly this.
seems people want some stamina reducing gear. Or gems.
We still have one gem that doesn't have utility.
Or gems. Yes.
Ooh.
More reduced stamina gear equals more top heavy rewards. I'll gladly swap out my XP pants for some stamina reduction. Okay, the gems could be a use case. We have one gem that doesn't have enough love.
That's gonna
100%
be interesting.
stamina reduction.
Maybe you would want to have a vote on this. At the end
As
of
he
the
said the other day that governance doesn't work. Our governance doesn't work.
It doesn't? Why not?
Ansi said that the other day. Ansi, come on back your words. No, I actually think our governance is good for some decisions. For some other, it might not be the best.
That we have to make it good for all kinds.
That's why I said I like quadratic voting. Have you heard
I
about it?
don't. I
Why?
don't believe in it.
You
'Cause I
don't
don't-
believe in it. You're not a believer of
I'm
quadratic
not a
voting.
believer. Because I mean, if you did KYC and stuff on token stakers, then you could do that, right? But it basically just incentivizes people to create multiple accounts and stake across multiple accounts, right? It's the it is the exact opposite of the incentive for whales to vote on governance proposals, right? So I don't know. It's
There
not
are
really.
some ways because you you need to also encourage them to have all the tokens within the same account without implementing the KYC, of course.
So you would keep the VIP levels, but implement quadratic voting.
Yes, along with some extra rewards to incentivize people holding with the same account.
It's funny that last week we didn't have your dog and we didn't have my kids, and a few minutes ago my kids started screaming like now, and your dog's barking again.
It's back. The dog
Okay, I
agrees.
mean,
you see, my dog likes quadratic governance. Actually, I'll be talking about quadratic governance on the Jupiter conference.
Of all the suggestions that I gave you, you picked none.
It's not an it's not an NFT NYC. I'll be talking on the January Istanbul conference about it.
Ooh, can we have one person, one vote rather than weighted vote? How about this?
And what about
maybe have a minimum staking and then it's one vote?
It will be similar to quadratic governance. We should have more options for runs. Now 1 hour run is too less because of captures and clan buildings. From a 1 hour run to 6 hours run is nothing. 2 hour run.
Sorry, I got distracted.
What would you love, Levi?
Talking about dogs, there was a dog pooping in my garden.
Not your dog. You don't have dogs, right?
We don't have a dog. We should have. Okay, so that was that, right? I find that very, very interesting. Why there should be a 3 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour runs. Very curious. I mean, it would make the Well of Wealth tasks a little bit more interesting, right? Because you could employ different types of strategies there.
Make a 2 days run, and then you just run 2 days and you leave the game and don't open it in 2 days.
That would be really, really bad.
Yeah, I know.
Because the whole 24-hour unstaking thing is because the longest possible run is 1 day, so you can't make a run, unstake your NFTs, hand them over to somebody else, and the same another person run with the same NFTs.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
This is the reason. This was the original reason. This is how we reasoned back in the day, when.
But now everyone is fast.
There was nothing. Yeah.
Also, can we upload the user interface for unstaking duration NFTs during off-season period? Sure.
The nature of financially incentivized systems, Lucked Out is pointing this out. Anything that helps the shrimp, getting back to shrimp, Granny's Magic's shrimp, helps the whale tenfold.
I like a shrimp invasion.
Can we include UI for unstaking duration NFTs during off-season period? Okay, so we still don't have that, right? I think there was a suggestion a while ago already. So the duration pickers, you can only unstake them when you can make runs. So during off-season, you can't make runs. So you can't unstake the duration pickers, the old ones from previous season. Oh, and Lucked Out is saying you can actually click your mining power.
Okay. Not during off season. Interesting. Because now
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out during off season.
1 hour run, you can do it in less than 30 minutes. Clans, buildings, and max level give a big speed boost. So I think we should remove the clan building. What do you think?
Yeah.
That would have been yeah. You're fired.
I guess that the people exactly this. Let's do some bets on which angry mob would actually chase Jack out.
Red, blue, yellow, they all get together just to destroy me. Where is my pitchfork?
Webby's saying 1 hour runs take him 12 minutes, so he would love 3 hour runs that take 45 minutes with the same logic. Not does it really work? But anyway, set with 5x, yeah, no, 36 minutes, isn't it? Right?
1 hour at 28 minutes for me.
I would like a 12 hours so I can sleep. That's what you have the queue runs for. Master Shin is saying next plan building should be
Contribution.
I guess contribution.
Sorry, I didn't pay attention. Next plan building should be contribution. I actually think that
are you able to process this contribution?
I think should be battles. Yes, I like battles. I think it should also be a shop for consumables, so you can have some use case for your items, not items, your materials.
Clan building arcade, Webby is suggesting for token boost.
Good one. Stamina reduction for the next building. I like it.
I mean, we still had stamina reduction consumables items, right? So the code for that still exists, just disabled because we had the balancing for this totally wrong.
It was broken. OP or not good?
It was totally OP.
Oh, okay. I like the idea. I actually think we will bring something back regarding this time. Contribution. So we should bring it back, this stamina boost, but maybe rework. How did they used to work? So we make sure we don't do that.
So there were two different types of consumables. One would restore a certain amount of stamina, and the other would restore all of your stamina.
Oh my god, yeah, that's okay.
Right, and then we handed them out. I think we raffled them out in a way, or we handed them out to the mobs or something like that, to see how they work and whether people are like how they're being perceived and stuff. And then we wanted to put them in the shop eventually, which never happened because there was such a massive backlash around how they actually worked. So,
so they got the pitchforks out when that happened.
Literally.
Okay.
Yes.
It was great for me, says Webby.
Yeah. Lucked Out is putting this right. It was insanely OP for top players, incredibly discriminating and reward scaling.
I have an approach to it, but let's see.
Logic: 5 stamina of Webby is 100x more than 5 stamina for me, and my 5 stamina is 100x more than someone. Yeah, that's it, right? That's obviously it. It's just that. I mean, we could. How about we make the stamina consumables depend on whatever your level, right? The lower your level, the more stamina you can get back, or something like this. That would make it really interesting.
Could be.
The Google spreadsheets to calculate that will be awesome.
I like the approach from Vince, and that's what we have been talking on the product manager chat. So make something that you can consume, not really an NFT, something that you can have just in the game, like a material, and you can use it once or twice a day. The first time you use it in the day, it costs, as an example, 100 gold. The second time you use it, it costs 300 gold.
Well, that's what candy do. That's
Yeah, but
precisely the
we do it
logic
with the
behind candy, right?
but we do
The
it with the
first
standard.
candy, and I mean that works, but
Yeah.
I mean I don't think that everyone is like incredibly happy around candy. I mean I know Webby is, right?
Ansi is
Um,
happy with candy as well.
yeah, the whales are because they would buy candy all the time, right? No matter what it costs. Or I mean you can basically calculate your trade-off for how many candies you should be buying or not. So it is the equivalent of the candy here. Um, Back then, the idea was that we would limit the number of each of these consumable items per season, right? So we would basically hand out just 1,000 or whatever gels, so that per season, so that it was clear that there's scarcity, right? So you can't just buy as many as you want, and
And
the
it just
price would the market price would basically um, would would reflect how much whales are willing to buy.
This is a great quote by Rising Dragons. It's a game of percentages, not a game of a fixed amount.
You should put that on your wall.
Yeah.
Only the top 20 people use the extra candy. That's what Kevin Kev is saying. We can have a look at that. I would believe that it's probably more than the top 20, but yes. I mean, the
How do
first
you
one's
say
probably used by
carries?
a lot of people.
Carries? Is that it? So the top 20 have carries?
Prince Paradox has a long memory for this project. We've been here. Webby is saying, need a way that bigger players get less stamina than smaller ones. So like making this dependent on the level, but still in a way that benefits both.
Why don't you put it in the season pass like the run duration NFTs?
Because then everyone would be getting them, and then people would sell them to the whales. Right, that's exactly. So that was a way we were thinking about distributing a fixed amount, right? But
Oh my god. I gotta go in 13 minutes. So we should run a couple of I forgot the name. Digitites.
Twitchy tights. Okay.
We still have vehicles on the roadmap.
There was another. What's that? So no, hang on. Rising Dragons brought this up with the vehicles here, but this was also brought up by Prince Paradox earlier, right? Carrying weight in the game and vehicles. I still think that is a good idea. So maybe Santiago, you wanna chew on this.
Can you tell me more about the vehicles?
We didn't have, like, back in the day, that was basically in the first 2 or 3 months of Dungeon Master, when Sasha and I, because the game was so simple, right? We had so many ideas. We were brainstorming about what else we could do, and then there can be vehicles that you can use to drive through the dungeon with the wombat, right? And then maybe the wombat can only handle a certain amount of weight. So each NFT might, in addition to being stakeable, and you just have 100 spots, right? Maybe the wombat can only carry this much weight, so every NFT might have a weight component to it, and then you could increase maybe your carriage by having a vehicle, something like that. There's a lot you can think about when it comes to this, right?
And can we have like Ferrari, Lamborghini, or we will have to
you
put
know what this is
producer
like with
names?
the copyright infringements and stuff. So
Fertati.
I would say no, but
What would be a fun name for Ferrari?
Fartari.
Horsey.
Have random stamina droplets drop into the Dungeon
Wambagini
Master screen.
Wabari.
People can click on it and it adds 1 stamina to their bar. It's like a front end thing, right? Yeah, that is a nice idea. I'm not sure
That's
about
interesting.
cheatability of this, but stamina should not be sellable in the market. That should be a safe play. Yeah, but I mean, candies aren't either, right? So
That's why people love candies, and they didn't bring the pitchforks out for it.
Prince Paradox, max carry could be a way to limit, could or should it could be a way to limit how many contribution points a wombat can pull out per run. This might be an equalizer,
Max
which will
carry.
piss off some people, but yeah, sure. Maybe vehicles and petrol, which you need to buy for stamina. Ooh, vehicles that increase your stamina. Start with Lambo, more stamina, top levels, and with push bike. That's interesting because there's this non-Lambos collection that I made with AI. So we could use those as.
Wait, what about the copyright?
It's not Lambos. That's exactly the point. It's the non-Lambos.
Okay.
These are not Lambos. They are not a Lambo. So, just to get back, sum up the whole discussion. It's great to have discussions about all kinds of things, but your number one priority is to rebalance the new players pool.
Yeah, we already talked about that. That's the number one priority. I agree.
Shout out to all the noise in the background. We can't ignore the kids. So anyway,
maybe Vince wasn't around when we talk about it.
Lambs shaped like an O. Lamb O. Kids need more Legos. I highly doubt that, to be honest.
So you can step on it. No problem, brother. I mean, at TLDR we got a change of developers. We're getting them. It's a very positive change. We're getting them to set up, and we hope we can deliver the changes to the season leaderboard by next season. But setting up a new dev is complicated. They need to learn a lot of stuff from scratch. So it will be also an interesting end and the start of this season. But I know we will do it.
Just leave me out of it. I know you'll handle it. Yeah, Lego is like, oh my god, if you have bare feet and you step on these tiny little pieces of Lego, oh god, be very painful, especially at night when you don't see them. Okay, so let's get this round of Twitchy Tides up and running. So if you haven't joined yet, type !wombat. We have Shiba Seeker and Vince being up and running with the wombats as always. So that's cool.
What did you use assembly? On the shit list said, just be glad you used a modern language. I had to teach a programmer how to write in assembly.
Yes, assembler probably, right?
No, assembly.
Assembly?
Yes, it's this old code that is very difficult to use.
Well, it was called assembler in my day and age, but maybe that has changed. I don't know. But yeah, that's fine. Do you know Lego is a private company? I didn't pay attention, but yeah,
it's
I mean,
private.
They're Danish, so they're probably private.
194x, okay.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting. We have too few new players, for sure. Okay, so what are we handing out today? Oh, Mocha Twitcher is also here. So we have 3 people with wombats, 2 golden ones, which is so beautiful. What are we handing out today, Santiago?
We're giving away wombat champions as well. We have some legendaries and mythic we have to give out.
So we didn't send out the ones from last week, but we're handing out new ones this week. Okay.
Yeah, we should still give them out.
Okay.
Worst was sausage, or what was it?
Yes, that means sausage. It's a German word, Wurst.
Wurst.
We can also hand out confettis.
For the
Or
memes.
fragments. Or shrimp
The shrimps.
fragments.
Who
Or
wants shrimps?
let's buy up some shrimps and have them out. Okay, so we'll do top player gets mythic, legendary for the second, epic for the third, rare for the fifth, and common for the rare for the fourth, common for the fifth, and the best ranked wombat also gets a free another common one.
Top
Like
20 get basic confetti. Embutido. No, it is not embutido. We call it salchicha.
Embutido. What's
Embutido.
embutido?
Embutido is, it's like, for example, the sausage is an embutido. It's the category.
Okay. All right, then let's get going. 41. Can somebody else join so we're at least at 42? 42 is such a beautiful number.
The answer to life and everything.
And just by coincidence, of course, the length of a season in days.
Oh, that's why you chose it.
Maybe.
Salchicha, chorizo, embutido, salchichon, all the same to most people. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we need to get this running because Santiago needs to leave. So let's start, despite just having 41 players.
Breaking. Phantom flips Coinbase in iOS App Store ranking in the US. Oh my
What?
god. Phantom is one of the number one apps on the App Store right now. You know that's the top, guys. Do you know that?
This is when you need to start selling.
Yeah.
So what's going on with Twitchy Tights? Still have some people going on. All our wombats are gone.
Rising Dragons is chilling. Yeah. Congrats.
So GG's here. Rising Dragons, Tree Frognada, Randman, Prince Paradox, and Webby. And then we'll have Vince be the top player with a wombat. So copy that over. Okay. All right, and then all that's left to do is to raid. The wombat wins a common one on top. Sorry, just a common.
What did I win though? Friendship.
A mythic. The
A
top
mythic
player wins
wombat.
a mythic,
Okay.
but it wasn't Rising Dragons. You can keep that. Vince, this is that's not great. It makes
Don't
me
be
sad
rude.
that you don't want it. You
Yeah,
can raffle it out to somebody else.
that's rude.
It is rude. So who are we rating?
His life.
Last week we rated Las Vegas Ape, right?
Yes. We should raid NFT dealer if his life. Just to balance some stuff.
NFT dealer doesn't seem to be live.
Wait.
Any other suggestions? Las Vegas Ape is live.
Well,
the online in.
we,
The online in. Let's try
we
this.
should write the online in.
Okay. All right. We're rating the online in, who's currently AFK, but hopefully will be right back.
I don't know then.
Okay. The online in will see a lot of people, hopefully, when they get back. Good. Then thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, Santiago, for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Vince, then just tell me your EOS account and I'll send you a confetti from my personal stash.
That's right.
And yeah, have fun with the online and see you next week and have a good week so far.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.